energy themes, March 2025. So this month we have a lot of things going on. We have the lunar eclipse, we have the solar eclipse, we also have equinox. For you guys that are in the northern hemisphere, spring is coming. For us in the southern hemisphere, fall is coming. What I'm feeling for this lunar and solar eclipse, because they're apart. The lunar eclipse is in the middle of the month, the solar eclipse is in the end of the month, but I'm feeling a lot of the feminine and masculine union energies. It's something we talked about last month. We talked about in our relationship Starseed relationship activation as well. So it's kind of that process of union between these two energies within us, the feminine, the masculine, the dark and the light. And we're like merging more and more with our spirits, right? Our human selves merging with the spirit. So that's us learning how to live more multidimensionally. And with the equinox, usually it brings a sense of renewal. It's a new cycle, um, maybe a reset for some of us, and also time for reassess as well. Reassess our goals, reassess our intentions. If you're going into spring, there's also this feeling of blossoming and growing. So like, the plants that you're still seeding, they're starting to blossom and to grow, meaning there could be a lot of things that you've planted a few months ago or last year that now it's starting to come into fruition. So you might see some things manifesting. Not that if you're in the southern hemisphere that doesn't apply. It applies to all of us, but there's a little bit of a sense with the season coming that feels different, right? With the flowers blossoming, that's the analogy that we get for spring. And autumn is also time for harvesting, and it's a good time for reassessing as well. So reassessing intentions and goals that you set for yourself 3 months ago, 7 months ago, a year ago. So yeah, it's like you've planted the seeds and you're just still like watering them. And with this energy of eclipse, there's always this energy of light being exposed, shadow being exposed, or light exposing more shadow. And that's, as always, happening on an individual level, but also collectively. So a prompt for you is just to take this month and take these events, just to use them more intentionally. So, of course, meditation can be a daily practice, but for these days, these events, just make sure you set that intention. You maybe create a little ritual for yourself. And I will be doing a few events this month. So there will be a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse meditation live. It's going to be on Instagram, on the Play Eden channel, Instagram, and then the equinox on the 20th of March. There will be an online event as well. We'll do like a group meditation. Right. Next up, we have solar activity timeline recalibration. So this is very much related to the Schumann resonance that we've been experiencing, that we've seen especially last week. I don't know if you felt it. I definitely felt it, especially on the 27th, which was Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. And we don't even need to have the Schumann resonance chart in front of us to know, because we can feel it. And yes, sometimes we feel more than others, some people feel more than others. But we do feel that on a physical level, on an emotional level, on a mental level. But what was interesting about this one on the 27th that we experienced, so usually I'm not the expert on the Schumann resonance. I don't actually check the Schumann resonance every day. But on the 27th, I just felt called to check, because I felt pressure on my head, on my third eye. I had peaks of energy, and then I was tired. I was like emotionally going up and down. And so I was like, there's something in the Schumann resonance. And yes, there was a lot of energy. There is a lot of energy coming to the planet. When you look at the Schumann resonance, the green, and especially the white, represents an incoming of light. So what you see sometimes is those spikes of white light, or those white outs, like everything is white, like a waterfall of light. So that means there's like a huge influx of energy of light coming into the planet. This one was interesting because yes, there was a lot of light, white, right, coming into the planet, but it felt very structured. It was layered, and there was a lot of energy, but it felt like it was organized. What happens is that the field has transcended linear constructs, and it's now embracing more of this quantum fluidity. So the shift heralds a rapid acceleration in alignment, intuition, and manifestation. So this is a timeline shift that is very impactful. And I know we're tired of hearing like there is a timeline shift, there is a timeline shift, because there are happening. They're happening. That's part of the process of ascension, and it's going to happen more and more. But some of them are actually more impactful and more meaningful. This one, there was definitely a very impactful shift. And so, whatever is not in alignment with you, you're going to feel it. Whatever you're feeling intuitively, you bet it's very right, it's very real. And also, this manifestation process is accelerating as well, because you're manifesting what you are vibrating, what, your true purest intentions. And we'll talk about manifesting in just a minute. And so because there is this timeline shift, there's this timeline recalibration. So you might be experiencing some timeline leaps, some deja vu, and just like an overall sense of the time being kind of weird, distorted, or nonlinear, or you feel like time is speeding up and sometimes it's slowing down. Yeah, so just notice that. Notice your perception of time, and also these, I don't like to say ascension symptoms because it feels like it's a bad thing. But for lack of a better word, that's what's happening. But just notice shifts in your physical body, your emotions, and just take care of yourself. Like, that's rule of thumb, always, hydrate, move, rest. Sometimes you actually need to move the energy within you. Sometimes you need to rest to integrate the energy, and just be gentle with yourself. And a little prompt is, where has my focus been? That's actually really important, because with timeline shifts like this, again, what you're vibrating, what you're focusing on is what's going to be manifested. So, are you focused on worries, or are you focused on blessings? Are you focused more on the dark agenda and the negative news, or on light? Are you focusing on fear or love? Because this is the time, this is the era that your vibration is really leading the way. It's always been like this, but now we're becoming more aware of that. Okay, and then we also have sovereignty codes. Choose your timeline. Since we're talking about timeline, that's also very much related to being sovereignty. And it's something that we talked about last month, especially in January as well. If you haven't seen, you can check it out inside the community, or on my YouTube channel as well, the January energy themes. And sovereignty seems to be a big theme. It was a big theme last year. It's something that we're embodying and learning more. But with this shift, we're also being giving a lot of this sovereignty codes, which is part of our cosmic DNA. So our cosmic DNA is being updated, and these sovereignty codes are being received. And what are these sovereignty codes? They're being updated in us because they want us to remember that we have the power, that we have the power to create, that we have the power to choose, that we have the power to say no when we want to say no, and we have the power to say yes to the opportunities that feel aligned. So it's very important to choose what is in alignment with your heart's frequency. And that goes from a small choice, as in what am I going to have for dinner, to a big choice. Where am I going to live? Or something like that. Okay. Just remember that you can choose, that you have the power. And yes, sometimes I know that we might be in situations where it feels like we don't have a choice. Just remember that. Just remember that you do have a choice, and sometimes it might not be that you have a choice in this moment, but just remember that timelines are always shifting. So, there is a timeline that you can choose what you're envisioning or what's in alignment with your heart's frequency. Yes, it could be that right now you might not be able to make that choice, but you're still in charge, okay? So a prompt is focus on your heart's frequency and the expansion to receive those codes. When we're talking about sovereignty, light codes, we are talking a lot about heart, right? So this is something that we're going to do today as well, to open up your heart. So just imagine, that your heart is this container that's being more and more open, getting bigger, receiving these light codes, and expanding. So focus on your heart. And then a few prompts as well. Where am I shrinking myself or dimming my light? Am I saying yes when I want to say no? Am I in places and relationships that I have outgrown? So just ask those questions, and just be honest with yourself and notice how you might be neglecting yourself and neglecting your sovereignty, because every time you say yes when you want to say no, you are saying no to these sovereignty codes. And every time you're true to yourself, you're in alignment with what you want, with your heart, what your heart wants, then you're saying yes to these sovereignty codes. And it's like they're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And we have been doing this every month. It created itself this Christ consciousness series because Christ consciousness was a theme, a big theme for this year. It's a big theme for the upcoming um, years, for this decade, because we're learning, remembering what Christ consciousness really means and embodying that Christ consciousness. And so this month, what came through when it comes to Christ consciousness is that you are a creator God, that you are powerful. You are powerful, a powerful creator, that you are connected to source. So remember your connection to source. You are connected to the divine creator. You are a divine creation, and you are a divine creator too. So that's very much related to the previous theme as well of um, being sovereign. Just remember that, yes, you are a creator God. And so when we're talking about manifesting and creating, just remember to manifest from your heart, connect with your heart. So always go back to the heart. The Pleiadians are very, very big on the heart, as you may know. And manifestation is being accelerated because remember, we were talking about that quantum fluidity. So we're experiencing more and more of that. It's almost as if right now we are moving very smoothly and quickly through the third, the fourth, and the fifth dimension. So when we're talking about quantum field, that's very much in the 4D. So it's as if we're operating very much in that realm, and it's like we have built a bridge, and the bridge is the fourth dimension, and so we can easily move around, go back and forth. And just always remember that with pure intentions, if you have those pure intentions in your heart to manifest whatever it is that you're envisioning and that you want to co-create with the universe, expect miracles to happen, because the things that are going to be manifested for you are beyond your vision, beyond what you can expect or what you can dream about. So continue to focus on your heart and remember that with pure intentions, you can expect miracles every day. So a prompt is, what are my heart's desires, not your ego's desires, and what you envision or what you want sometimes is not aligned with what your heart desires. So it's important to have that coherence, to always reflect what I want to create, to manifest, is it aligned with my heart's desire? And so this is something that we can do today here. This can be one of your intentions for this practice, because when you breathe, when you release, when you clear, you stay very connected to your heart, and you can ask your heart, what is it that you desire? Or that thing that I want to co-create, is it for my highest good? Is it aligned with my heart? Am I consciously co-creating with the universe? Remember that if you're a creator God, then you're part of it all. You're always co-creating with God, with the universe, with source, and with others. Am I following my heart and my intuition, or forcing an outcome? Because sometimes we force things, right? Like we want to create something, we have this vision, and we're kind of stubborn and attached to the outcome. And the universe is like showing us other ways and other signs, and we're like, no, but this is what I'm envisioning, and this is what I want. So this is also really important. Be honest with yourself, connect with your heart, and ask, am I forcing an outcome, or am I just really following my intuition and my heart? And this is a common theme. I might be saying this theme every month, maybe in different ways, but this month you might be pushed out of your comfort zone. And why is that? Because we are being called to create new ways of being and new ways of doing, because that's how we ascend. That's how we co-create this 5D new earth, creating something else, creating something new, being something, being someone new, being in a different frequency, and co-creating different paradigms, different templates, and adjusting to these new frequencies, because that's what's happening. Earth is vibrating at a higher frequency more and more. And then we're all adjusting to those frequencies too, and learning how to be in those frequencies, how to embody those frequencies, how to create new templates, how to create, co-create a new paradigm, and how to really embrace our potential as multi-dimensional beings. A few prompts is, what ways are no longer working for me? And what is preventing me from trying something new, or something that's unknown, but also feels exciting? So this is something that, every now and then we can ask ourselves. And for this month, especially with the equinox and the eclipses, this is a very important question that we can ask ourselves. What are the things or the ways that that I'm behaving, or habits, beliefs, anything that's just not working, and I'm just being stubborn, or not noticing it, or I know, but then I feel afraid of taking the step that feels unknown because it's something completely new. But if we don't try to step into the new, how can we co-create this new earth? And that was our last theme. And just before we move on, I want you to know that we're having this program. You might have seen this. So the multidimensional self is a journey through your 12 dimensions of consciousness. This year we have an extra week, because it used to be 9 dimensions. So it's a 10-week journey, and we're starting on the 31st. And if you're interested, you can apply on the multidimensionalself.com. You do also have the option to have some early birds. And yes, I'd love for you to be a part of this group. It's a beautiful container, and it's a beautiful journey, very transformative, very healing. And it's very much related to everything we talked about today. So that's why I wanted to share this with you. And a little prompt in case you're wondering whether, you should take this journey or not. And again, you can message me if you have any questions, but just ask yourself, what does multidimensionality mean to me? Because it can be something very specific, very special to you that you might be gaining awareness right now. And just ask yourself, am I tapping into the fullest potential as a multidimensional being? So whatever multidimensionality means to you, am I tapping into that fullest potential? And yeah, I just hope this resonates with you. And just a little recap of the themes for this month. We have lunar and solar eclipses and equinox energies, solar activity. We have this timeline recalibration that feels very impactful. Sovereignty codes, choose your timeline. Learning Christ Consciousness series, you are the creator God, remember that, and you're being pushed out of your comfort zone. It's not a bad thing, it's just about co-creating the 5D new earth. Let me know in the comments, in the chat. You can just place the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one has resonated most with you today? And